I've got some quick impressions for you of a new set of 3 fragrances from Trudon. Of course, Trudon is a candle maker, but they also make quite a few scents. I've tried also several of them. Some are pretty nice. None have overly blown me away, but I was really intrigued by this beautiful red bottle, sort of dark ambery collection. According to their website, they're calling this the Nuit Rouge, and it says an ode to opulence. Drawing on its expertise in haute parfumerie, Trudon unveils Nuit Rouge, a highly concentrated signature collection. So it's made up of 3 fragrances. A little pro tip here. I've noticed more and more when fragrances are first released, shops will tend to sell these little sets of samples, usually for cheaper than if you were to buy individual samples or decants from that shop. Now, this is a really nice way to try new things. I find that they usually sell out, probably because when a brand launches and sends new fragrances to a retailer, they include samples. It's also a little disappointing because honestly, these should be given away for free for people to test the new wares. But especially when ordering online, you can't expect businesses to just send you samples all the time for free. So we now must pay for what once should have been free. But usually you can get a decent price. So I snapped these up when I got an email, I think from ZGO, to try these out. So what do we think? I did a cursory spray a few days ago, maybe a week ago when I first got them, and I did not like what I smelled. I did sort of a half day on skin wear before a shower, but I thought I should give them more of a chance before getting on here and talking about them. So about an hour ago, I sprayed them again on card so that I could decide which one I might wear for part of the day. And I went with 45. Now this is a vanilla fragrance, a smoky vanilla fragrance. I don't watch TikTok at all, but I was just kind of trolling around reviews for this, and someone said that this had become a TikTok sensation already, so who knows. But it's kind of, unfortunately, your typical, very sort of synthetic and loud, smoky, ambery vanilla. I will say credit that I found myself thinking, I'm wearing it right now on skin, as it progressed, that it had this nice kind of interplay between freshness and smokiness and depth. But it smells like something we've smelled many times before. All 3 of these kind of go down that modern, powerful amber route. And it's not my favorite scent profile. Even sort of more natural smelling or classical ambers are not exactly my favorite genre either. So I fully admit this line is maybe not for me, although I was really curious to see what they would do with this sort of dark red theming. So we'll see what it has to say here about 45 degrees. So notes listed: honey, bergamot, Madagascar, vanilla absolute, CO2, Georgie wood, benzoin, and natural vanillin. So despite all that, it smells not all that natural to me. The vanilla does have sort of a custardiness to it, a smokiness. It is sweet, but I wouldn't say cloyingly sweet, although it is also quite strong. I would say something in the realm of, if you like Guerlain's honey tobacco, but much less honey than that, but around that realm of sweetness. I do have to say, I think after trying all of these, I still think sort of Grand Soir by Maison Francis Kurkdjian is still kind of the one to rule them all of the sort of modern synthetic ambers. I think that one just wears a little more smooth, a little less cloying. I think he kind of, maybe he didn't quite do it first, but he's among the first, and I still think he kind of did it the best. And there's been many other variations to follow that I don't think have bettered that yet. So it's a pleasant vanilla. I don't hate it. I think it is my favorite out of the 3, but it's nothing I would go out and buy. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just move on for now. So next up, Midnight Omen. This one has a little bit of a fresher streak to it. Again, I really have, aside from vanilla, which sticks out, I have trouble parsing ingredients. It's that sort of synthetic thing where you get sensations, like a sensation of sweetness, of warmth and freshness, without really smelling like anything in particular. So I could say that for all 3 of these, but they list mandarin, peony, orris, saffron, violet leather, cashmere, sandalwood, amberwood, patchouli, musks, and moss. It says richly layered woody amber fragrance that evokes the pull of the unknown, enigmatic and bold. It hints at omens. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that. But yeah, so I guess it's meant to be a little more floral. I don't read any florals. These also remind me a bit of the style of some of the recent Amouage, like Decision, which had this sort of strange, like empty, fresh amber woodsness. Not quite the scratchy or overly powerful amber woods I've known before, but this kind of hollow, synthetic, ambery warmth and sweetness that again is abstract, but not necessarily in a good way, in a way that makes it a little bit like hard to parse from other similar smelling fragrances from other houses. So that's Midnight Omen. By far my least favorite, and I got off on a bad foot because it's the first one I sprayed when I received these, is Mystique. Yeah. This again smells like something I've smelled before. They're saying leather, saffron, cedar, agarwood, sandalwood, papyrus, amber, patchouli, ebony wood. It has a few sort of red flags in the notes list. Things that I do like sometimes in fragrances, but sometimes are metaphors for other kind of gnarly aroma chemicals such as papyrus, amber, ebony wood. I doubt, who knows, maybe there's real agarwood. I doubt it. Again, it sort of smells like a modern day Amouage, but not one of the better ones. They say extremely rich, remarkably textured. Mystique channels spiritual intensity and allure. Yeah, what bothers me about this one does go down the more sort of scratchy, maybe it's the patchouli, the sort of scratchy amber woods route. I get a little bit of bitterness, which is maybe their saffron or leather material. And then, yeah, it's a kind of scent profile I find really unpleasant, and I've smelled before. So unfortunately, that's kind of all I have to say about these three. If there was one winner, I would say 45. Even though it's a vanilla, even though it's sweet, it has a nice mix of smokiness and a little bit of sort of something lifting it, brightening it, at least in the first hour or so of wear. None of them smell very innovative. They all smell like things I've smelled before from brands like some of the recent Guerlains, maybe some of the sweet ambery Xerjoffs have a similar smell, and certainly smells like sort of nouveau Amouage, especially maybe like a Cecile Zerokian style fragrance. So disappointing. It is a candle brand, but it's kind of sad that they would follow trends in such a way. It would be nice if they maybe stuck more to a theme of their long-standing French heritage. Not that everything they make has to be classic and French smelling, but these just feel like really trend chasing and add nothing new to really justify their price or their existence. So let me know if you get a chance to try these, if you like any of them. The one advantage is Trudon does sell smaller travel sprays, so at least if you want just a small hit of a sort of dark, loud, sweet, amber, woodsy type fragrance for winter, you don't have to commit to the full bottle.